We went and grabbed lunch years and years ago, Stefan. And Stefan does this thing where if you ever like sit down with a therapist, they start therapeuting you. So he's like, yo, your hard exterior, you all business, you know, you making this face. And he was literally like breaking down to me what men see when they sit down with me, which was a benefit. I ain't really like how he did it, but it was helpful, right?
Yeah.
For a lot of women, we are buttoned up, business minded, boss energy, and that is not attractive to most men.
Exactly.
How do we break down that tough exterior, not to the point where we have to be someone that we're not, but how do we navigate, you know, being who we are, but then being who a man appreciates a woman to be?
Okay. So first thing, let's clarify. It's not attracted to the men that women actually want and like.
Right.
Because what I always find is that boss woman, that masculine woman, she's getting dudes who want her. She's just not getting the one she wants to want her. That's the disconnect. So yes, going back to your question, it's about understanding that, one, how we perceive ourselves isn't always how others perceive us. So I always encourage women, like I have a membership group and I tell them, like, listen, ask men how they see you. Don't let your girlfriends tell you, because they're going to validate things. Because if they're negative too, they're not going to call you out for being negative.
Or recognize it.
Exactly. It's almost like, think about a morbidly obese person. They're not going to call out another morbidly obese person and say you need to lose some weight. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna validate that whole thing, because they're walking in it too. So women have to be mindful of that yes, how you're coming off is going to have a huge role in how people receive you. And the pushback I get is, well, I am feminine. When I'm in a relationship, I'm sweet, I'm submissive, I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, yeah, but how would he know that?
You got to get there.
Exactly. You're not exuding that energy that lets him see that you have even that, I hate to use the word potential, but in essence, that's what it is in some cases. Or it's just you are that feminine woman. And so a lot of women think, well, he should take time to figure it out. Ain't nobody got time for that. Especially, again, this is where we're going into the type of man you want. You want some successful, well put together man. He don't have time to be surveying the situation and digging deep into every woman who catches his eye. Do you know how time consuming that is? And one of the analogies I love to use, because I even use this analogy in regards to why people should be using physical attraction as a evaluator for relationships. And I'm like, if you had Walmart hiring for cashier, paying minimum wage, and they only got 5 applicants coming to them, they got time to sit down with every applicant, dig deep, and figure out who they want to hire. If you're Google and you're hiring a position making 6-7 figures, you got thousands of people submitting their resume. You ain't got time to evaluate and interview everyone. So what do? You start to weed them out. How do companies weed them out? Well, back in the days, it was, if your resume don't even look right, forget what's on it. If the paper's wrong, if the color's wrong, if the texture is bad, in the garbage. You could have been an amazing candidate. You won't make it to the next stage.
Make the cut.
So you got to understand that when you're trying to date in that pool of men, and in general, it would be beneficial to be mindful of what are you exuding that allows you to attract those kind of people, and for them to see that you can be the woman that they would want to entertain.
So what are some of these feminine things? Because it's hard out here, Stefan. Listen, I'm really loving that social media has this whole like soft woman thing, like this whole soft woman movement. I am loving it because I'm tired of working hard. But most Black women were raised to believe that we had to work hard. Like if we're not working hard, if we're not taking care of ourselves, if we are not independent, if we can't do it all and handle it all and be strong, then we're not doing it right. So now we're 30 plus and the men are like, yo, you too hard. And it's like, this is who I am. So what are some things that we can start to do? You know, maybe wear pink or, you know, wear some softer colors. I think we talked about that. See, I was listening. He was like, yo, you showing up in all this black. I got my man with my black on though, y'all. So we don't know about that rule. But I do remember you saying it. But what else can we do?
Every rule.
Exceptions to every rule. Those things do matter though.
Yes. But so the first step is though, stop saying this is who I am. It's not who you are. It's who you have become because you've been conditioned to believing this is what it should be. You become comfortable in your masculine energy and detached from your femininity. But the reality is that that feminine energy is still in you, which is again why when you're in a relationship or when you're emotionally vulnerable, it comes out.
Yeah.
Or even better, some of these same women who are so hard, put them around kids and they're joyful, they're sweet or whatever. Put them around a man, they shut the whole thing down. No more feminine energy. So the reality is that it's not that you're not feminine.
Okay.
It's that you don't view the child as a threat.
Right.
All right. You view men as a threat. And because of that, you become defensive around men, but you're not guarded around children. That same energy that you give kids, give that to a man, see what happens. I remember one time I had a client. So I think she came to an event and I had that whole speech about feminine energy, and she came to me afterward and she said, she was dating this guy. Her son, who was like 22 in college, comes home for the weekend, and she said the whole weekend she's serving him, calling, baby, what you need, boom, boom, boom. The child leaves, go back to school. The boyfriend looks at her and say, why you never talk to me like that? You talk to him with all this great, I don't ever get none of that. And that's when she realized, damn, I'm really giving them that hard energy. You have it. You just have issues stopping you from giving it to the man.
I think you just saved some souls out there, Stefan, because
I hope so.
listen, for a woman who presents with, some masculine energy, it's like learning a second language for someone to tell me to become feminine. It's like, well, how do you do that? But it is a totally different energy when a child is around. It's like, you just melt.
Yes.
Versus a man, and it's like, yo, what's up, bro?
Exactly.
It's like you have to be on guard. You're defensive. So I hope y'all just caught that gem, because that was a really, really good one. I